Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are letting a few people's audio connect, and I am detaching my chart as you can see what is going on here. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, you're not seeing my screen. Never mind. Here we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. We're all here. Good morning, Bob. 25. You got me. It's 31 here right now. Not bad. I went it's so funny as I think about it, but on the holiday I drove up. My daughter goes to school at Utah State University. It's about 2 hours north of me. And she has a season pass at the local resort to go. She's trying to learn to snowboard and she's a little frustrated by it. And so I went up and I went snowboarding with her. And I have not been in 15 years. I took my son when he was in first grade. He's 21 now. And then he started playing competitive soccer the next year, and that was it. Like it just, my boards just hung up in the garage. So anyway, I went up with her. Like riding a bike. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but I am sore as can be. You guys, I am aching. Aching. Bob's like, was it right? Oh man, it took like 100 feet, and I'm like, oh. I went and I got a little bit, I threw a little jump. She's like, "Oh, you can jump." It was a little jump. It wasn't much. I was too scared. I'm fragile. I'm fragile now. Anyway. All right. Welcome out, everybody, to the Market Watch Group weekly opening bell. My last year that I had a season pass, I got 84 days on the mountain. That was when I was like, 24, maybe 23, pre-kids. Oh, I used to love to ride the mountain. Anyways, I might break a hip, Sandy. That's exactly what I was thinking. Welcome to the weekly opening bell. Here's the disclaimers. Here's the agenda. Opening futures and news. Obviously, we're gonna look at what's going on. Futures down just a little bit. We'll see what news is coming out. Some big news about COF, about Capital One buying Discover. I didn't see that. That's interesting news for sure. That is big. Okay. I do think that's interesting. Um, we'll look at the economic calendar. We'll review the economic posture. I got a notification that the recording in the email, the link was actually taking us to February 4th. Um, so a couple of things. I'll pay more close attention to the links as I put them in that they stick. Sometimes the the template for the emails are weird anyways. But I'm also gonna start including our YouTube channel. I don't want you to rely on the emails. You can pop into the YouTube channel. I post it there. That's where the link's taking you. So if you ever, or you can subscribe and it'll notify you. There's a lot of different ways. Anyways, okay. Mindset for opening trades. Yeah, if you carried anything, you're going to be a little bit under, probably a little further underwater. So you're going to have to make some hard decisions, possibly, depending on how things go. Um, we'll look and see if there's anything that we like. We had a number of setups. There was really I'm only carrying a couple of things. Who's carrying something and how much? Are you carrying a lot from last week? Are you carrying a little bit from last week? Or are you not carrying anything? I would put myself in the a little bit. Bob says quite a few. Good morning, Michael. Good to see you, my friend. You didn't miss much. You just you missed the story of me complaining about how I'm old and out of shape. But few hours snowboarding crippled me. I can hardly move. All right. All right. Trading plan section of the week. We're on the last one, you guys. This is it. First pass of the year. You're on carrying zero. Got it. Okay. Um 4, expecting 3 to fall. Okay. I love it. Oh my God. So awesome. So awesome. Let's get into it. Let's just dive in. What are we doing? Let's jump in. Where's my charts? Where's my okay. Is this fresh? Let's see what's happening here. So the futures down about a third. S&P's down 0.35. The Dow 0.3. The NASDAQ 0.39. And then, of course, there's our friend, the Russell, just getting yanked around. Or small caps in this. How dovish is the Fed? Not dovish at all yet. How much do we anticipate the Fed to be dovish? And the small caps are just getting yanked about, down 1%, literally like 3 times more volatile. Is anyone still trading IWM out of curiosity? Because I know a few of us have taken some. Got one on IWM. God, this thing's getting yanked all over. All over. Okay. Okay. Futures are down a little bit. Earnings take center stage. I mean, kind of like mostly. It's not a lot of earnings, is there? Am I missing something? Walmart posted upbeat. I don't know why I have 2 charts open. I only want one. Let's go see what Walmart's look like. Oh, they also did this just get announced in this earnings? Because I don't remember seeing this split. Does anyone remember seeing a split on Walmart? I don't remember seeing that. That might be new. So Walmart's gonna drop back down to 67-ish here in a few more days. Um, let's see, where are we now? Bid ask. Okay, there, yeah, it's gapping up. It's gonna have to drop down a little bit to give us this 178 mark. It's up here. It's a nice gap for Walmart. Yeah. Okay. Okay. How can I tell? Great question. In this perspective here, if you're on Thinkorswim, you're looking, oh, that's the wrong color. That did not turn out right at all. You're looking up here in the quote. And if you notice, there's this bid ask. That's the pre-market right there, that bid ask. So it's right now trading 178.20 by 178.40. Right, the spread in the pre-market's kind of garbage. That's just how the pre-market and aftermarket windows work. But this is where it's trading, which gives you a real good idea of where it's going to open up here in about 3 minutes. Around 178 is our expectation. Yeah. That's where I go look to check my stops, Press. If I ever have a hard stop in place, and I wake up and I'm like, oh man, the futures are down. And I'm cautious that my stop might trigger. This is what I'm going to well, so they and Walmart actually could be There are some stocks that trade. It gets all convoluted now because there are some stocks that do trade 24/7. Stocks, not futures. Bob said, I thought TOS used to show futures overnight. They do, but remember that we have from 8 a.m. to 9:30 Eastern time, that hour and a half, and from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's 4 hours after. If you ever notice, when companies report earnings after market, they report it like literally 4:05 p.m., like 5 minutes after the market closes. They're like, here's our earnings. Well, if you go look at the after hours, it will like this. This will show you after hours. But if you can go watch how the market's reacting to it. Now, these extended hour sessions, they're non-market. It's everything's a limit order. So basically all the brokers connect to a network. And if you and it's only stocks, remember that, right? So if you're trading options, you're just watching the price. There's nothing for you there. But if you said, I want to buy 100 shares of IBM of Walmart, WMT at 178, and somebody else out there said, I want to sell 100 shares, or maybe they had 400, and if they don't have all or nothings, then they'll match you up, right? They'll match you up, and they'll take his 100 and sell them directly to you, essentially. It's done through this network, but that's an after hours transaction, whether it's pre or post market. It's just it's all order matching. And if there's a buyer and a seller, the network matches them up, and they just transfer the shares, and that's the extended hours. But that does give us early insight. Do we have access? I believe you could request it. Yeah, I think you just have to call Thinkorswim and be like, how do I participate in extended hours trading? Not Ameritrade. Who do you have to call now? Schwab. You should call Schwab. That's who you should call. Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab will tell you how to extend. I'm sure they participate in that and would give you the ability to. So that's stocks in that time. Overnight, if it's 2 a.m, I wake up, dog wants to go out, take my phone, and I go check the futures for sure. 25K minimum, Michael said, it sounds like. Love it. Thank you for that info. That was fast. Okay, market's open. Let's go see what's going on. Extended hours trading. And there you can see where we are, right? I told you the chart had to open up. Now we can see, look at that thing go. Buyers are continuing to push too. So there you go. A lot of momentum in Walmart. Okay. Let's move on. Where were we? Home Depot forecast falls short. Oh, okay. So there's another. So yeah, some consumer. This is consumer discretionary, consumer staples. Yeah, these guys gap down 2%. I've already got 1% of it back. I mean, that's really not a oh, look how bad they missed earnings, right? Like that looks fine. Sideways, but fine. What else? What am I missing from the news? Is there anything I'm missing? The key question on Capital One's Discover buy. There it is, Bob. There it is. Let's start with DSCA. Is it DSCA? I believe it is. No, DSC. Oh, is it DFS? That's Discover Financial Services. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So they gapped up on the news. Bam. Which typically is because there's going to be a premium involved, obviously. And here is Capital One gapping down about 5% on the news. That's pretty typical in an acquisition reaction from the market. I'd say that's pretty typical. Yeah. Interesting news for sure. That's a big one. Okay. What else? How Texas, let's see. Uh, yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. All right, let's keep going. What do we have going on in the news? Yesterday, nothing. Today, leading economic indicators, there's nothing there. Tomorrow, we have a little bit of Fed speak and FOMC minutes. So, not a lot of news to go off of right now. Our Fed expectations, just to see if there's any change in market expectations. We're now about 30 days away from the next 4 weeks from tomorrow. Yeah, no change. 10 to 1, 2 to 1 against in May. And I think we're about 2 to 1 for. Yeah, about that. Best probability is it's still Q2, but we're talking June. I have no problem with that. None at all. Okay, so let's go in. Here's how the market opened. Half TRP. Okay, TRP's been doing well though, right? How long have you been in that, Michael? That's been looking pretty strong. Here is, oh, I need to get our posture up here. And I'm gonna need the trading plan as well. Okay. Give me 1 second for this. Okay, so here, let's start here. If you missed Sunday, I can't seem to get my Discord to pop up. I've tried to load it twice today. It's not opening. But I will drop the link for anyone who wanted the Sunday link. I will drop that on uh YouTube. Or I mean, I'll drop it on Discord. Okay, what do we have? Everything in the trend stayed the same. Long term still 1.25, short term still a 2. Volume dropped a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if we get a volume. If we get a negative volume, it could drop to 0. If we get a positive volume, it could go to back to 0.75. If we get no volume, it'll probably drop to 0.25. So the volume is in flux for sure right now. Major market looks fine and is actually on the bubble with if the if the small caps can convincingly push this. Today's not the day to help for that, but if it can convincingly push, that's flirting with it. Sandy, we missed you on Sunday. I said if Sandy was here, she maybe would be trying to push me to a 1 already. Sector rotation is a 1, stayed strong. I mean, it's stronger. It was a 1 before healthcare. Now, consumer discretionary is back in a, momentum position. And we still have healthcare. So we have 6. It's across the board, breadth, sector rotation, a lot of different places that money is going. Now, this is where we got hit. That's when you look at what happened here, our concern is this holding on. We had a higher low, dropped it a quarter of a point. We had a higher high, dropped it a quarter of a point. And Bob is telling me now, here's the concern. The concern is this a double top all of a sudden? Now, even here, not yet, right? Not yet. But this is concerning to us. Market's only down a little bit, but look at this VIX turn. The VIX is always making us concerned about escalation. And you can see here that it was escalating and we're like, oh, it's not good. And then it did this and we're like, oh, okay. Woo. And then it just stops. And you're like, wait, hedgy wedgy press. Oh, I believe it is time. I took one small piece off of the first one. I locked a little gains at a good spot. It was, I mean, I'm not going to say I was anywhere near here, but I was probably up in this area. And it looked great. Took some off, held the rest, and then it dropped. But then all of a sudden we're turning again. And so now here is this making a higher low, and it is confirming with the turn. Now, even here, we're now at 15, right? We're now at 15. It's not high, but even now, if we go look at the SPY, and again, what are we going to do? We're going to go 5 weeks out. That puts us out at March 28th, 37 days. Okay. And we're going to go, we're going to go 5% out of the money. We'll just go from 500 still. I mean, it's fine if we just sort of round it. Let me get a calculator. We'll go 501 times 0.95. 476, 475, because I do like, let's go around there. 475, 476. So let me move this up a little bit. I don't need you. I do need this and change that to 475. Even if we go to 476, 230. 230. Do you remember how much those were when we were at a 12.7, 12 or 13? Yeah. Buck 30. Yeah. Buck 35. When the VIX is at 30, these things cost $4. That's why we want to get them early if we can get them. Even here, that's if the VIX spikes to 20 from here, which is another 5%, this is what it would do. What's going on here? That's a put. I'm like, that's a put. Of course it is. It's because it's a hedge. Okay, let me get this dialed in. Now, let's just say that the market drops to, I don't know, 475. But if it also gets an increase in volatility, watch this 6,800. What happens with 5%? What is going on with my keyboard? It's like a phantom keyboard. There we go. I have no idea what's happening. I'm gonna have to manually do it. Was that weird? Like, was just reverting back? 5% volatility. 6,800 becomes 9,900. So if you get 5%, it doesn't matter if it's a little expensive already, it's gonna get more expensive. But yeah, hedge time. And yeah, there's some concern for sure that we're seeing that. I'm gonna give it a little, well, I mean, now we're down 0.5%. So yeah, I'm thinking about putting that on pretty early today. Let's go back to the VIX. So the VIX was what showed the concern. That's what's causing us to hedge back here. That's what's causing us to hedge now. And that is also what might cause you to, if you're on the bubble for any bullish trades, snatch what you have and be done, right? I mean, there's no need to panic. We're still 12 minutes in, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good today. All right, let's get to the watch list now. So we went through the posture, we went through the economic calendar, and let's just hit the watch list and see what we think. Apple up to 15.5 now on the VIX. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. Apple. Let me get this dialed in here. Price should always be the star of the show. So Apple at this point, I think I might be calling this more of a, I mean, it's back to support. And some people love support. I just don't love support when you're there for the fourth time. I want it to hold, but I don't think, oh, what a great opportunity for me to buy that when it was unable to hold up in this area, right? It tried again, and now it's back down near support. Yes, I hope it holds support, but it's not one that I'm looking to put a position on at this point. AIG could be close. I'm adding AIG. So it did earnings. It got through it. Now we're sitting back down right on top of the 50. Stochastics is in a good place. If this holds and turns, I'm all for it. AMD I had already closed. That was one I had tried and took a very small loss on. Amazon I think is still setting up, but it's not ready to go yet. Right, we know that there's been some concern and pause, and this is just kind of sitting here. So, okay. AXP. So, AXP tried to give like a, oh, I'm breaking the flag, but I don't know. I think we may still see a pullback. I'm going to still wait on that a little longer. Boeing, there's nothing there. BlackRock, nothing there for me. BLDR, I think, would be setting up if it weren't for the fact that they report earnings Wednesday, Thursday before market. So you really only have a day for this. It's not really time. BX, that could be setting up again. BX did okay with that. Did all right with it. Took some off here, got the rest there. I didn't get anything on this nice day. Here I'm like, take some at there was here I took it at resistance. Next day I'm like, yeah, here we go. And then the next day it gapped down. I'm like, ah, hell. And then it came back. All right. I mean, I walked away with a gain, and now it's pulling back, I think, for another setup. City, it's crossing over. I held. It's crossing over, but it's still in this vector. But I don't love that this is pinching. So this could be coming to an end. It's still in a profitable place. Not a lot, barely at all, but okay. We'll see what this does. You can see I have the stop is up to here now, which is in a profitable place. But I don't know. Anyone still in City? It's gone into a Heiken Ashi doji. We don't love that. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be patient with it. Caterpillar got out. Caterpillar, well, I'll tell you what, I'm leaning more that way, even as I'm trying to be patient with the VIX. So we'll see. Caterpillar gave it back some today. You can see it drop back near the, if you got an anticipatory, it'd be maybe break even, probably still a little underwater. Here, underwater, but not by much. The problem is, I do think this thing is breaking. Yeah, you can see it's breaking. It's Heiken Ashi right here. So doesn't look good. Capital One is up now. Oh, okay. So they were down. Oh, okay. Up on the day. Yeah, they've got a good amount of it back. A good amount of it back. Capital One was on my list, but with this news, I'm taking it off. I'm crossing it. Um, I don't like trading around news events like that, where all of a sudden the deal falls through. Okay, so you're up this morning. Got it. All right. Took a little piece. Costco. Costco got a little bit of a flag and turn, and now it's trying to move again. Heiken accelerating here. There you go. That's what you're looking for. CrowdStrike definitely on my list. Nice setup developing here. CSX on my list. Setup developing here. DAL. You could make an argument. I don't like it yet. I don't like DHI either. Dow's holding up okay today. Here's DraftKings. Had their earnings. It's a little bit choppy. I don't know. I don't love DraftKings. I'm taking it off. We said we pulled a few new things in, try it on, see how it feels. That didn't feel right. That's no good. Ford. Ford is still setting up. Still potentially developing into a trade this week. Fastenal gave a signal, starting to run out of steam. Heiken is it's doji. It hasn't broken this here, but it's definitely looks a little bit out of momentum. GBTC is flat, looking for a consolidation. Same with GE. Gold's rallied up a little bit. Looking for the same thing from Google that we're looking for from Apple, to be fair. It's very close to support. It couldn't hold the 50. It's like I'm rooting for it, but I don't know. I'm going to leave it on my list because I maybe still would, but that's a tough one. That's iffy. Home Depot. After earnings, a little bit fluctuating. Here's IBM. Anybody carry their IBM? It's holding up, but it's not doing much beyond that. Here's Intel. It's chopping around. IWM. So again, what are we looking for? As long as IWM drops and holds above the 50, we're going to be okay. JP Morgan looks a little overextended. A lot of the big stocks on ours are bellwethers, should be. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Las Vegas Sands. Let's add it to the list. Starting to pull back. Giving us a consolidation. Yeah. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. I think the Sands looks good. Meta on the list. Yeah, I think that's on the list. Let's put Meta. Let's sneak Meta in there. Here's another one. Microsoft on the list. It's near this. I'd like it to stay around this area, but I'd be okay all the way back to like maybe in here. It's still above the 50. So as long as it stays above the 50, I'm okay with it. I'm going to keep Microsoft and another bellwether press, right? Absolutely. Netflix. We could put Netflix back on the list. Starting to consolidate back down a little bit. I'd like to see it hold above 550 if I was thinking about a trade on that. Nvidia, a little pre-earnings jitters, pulling back, maybe got spooked by SMCI. But yeah, it's just was so overextended anyways. We'll see what this does around earnings. The car looks a little overextended. The Qs are over 1% down now. Ross Stores setting up. It's on my list. SMCI still pulling back. Okay, so do you trade this consolidation when if it stabilizes at 700 and starts to turn back up? Are you going to take it? Look at that volatility. It is off the charts. Those options are so expensive. So expensive. And when they're that expensive, you're like, well, then should I sell it? Like do a bull put spread or a naked put? But man, imagine if this thing whipped around and you were in, I'd say a spread, if anything. SPY holding up. If it holds this, so here's what's tough is I am going to hedge it for sure, which means I'm adding to the hedge I got here. One hedge here, a second hedge here. I want you to see where the VIX had us hedging here and now here. What I don't know what is going, oh, that's fading. What is happening with my tools today? Here. Oh, I see what that did. That's like a magic pen. I had no idea I had that. There and there. Those are the two hedge days. I'd prefer if this thing stabilized and bounced again, but right? Got to be ready for what it's doing. TPR, look at that thing still going. Still going. Very strong. That was one we added from that. Got the hedge on. Yes. UNP. No, I like CSX better. Here's the VIX. It's popping. Walmart. No, waste management. Sorry. I just thought the T was there. Waste management, overextended. Walmart pulling back a little, but still crushing it today. Here's our sectors. XBI. Biotech is up. Kind of a cupish type formation. We have materials have popped a little bit. Communication services dialed back, but still looks strong. Looks like it could be a setup. Energy tried to make a little pop, but nothing there now. Financials looks strong, but kind of in a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a consolidation. Next, industrials look strong, but pulling back. Technology still looks strong. Definitely, that's where we may find some setups developing as well. Staples bouncing, looking strong with the Walmart news. Utilities, healthcare still strong. And consumer discretionary. So it's kind of an interesting start of the week. Overall, still very bullish. We did drop 3/4 of a point in our posture. Most of that came from the VIX. The VIX is giving us a head signal. The VIX is saying, hey, there's something here. Just be careful. Okay. Duly noted. Tightening some stops, waiting on some things, being a little more strict with my setups and entries. There it is. All right, real quickly here before we wrap up, the other thing we need to discuss is the trading plan. We are on, I believe it's the last week. No, 2 more weeks of the foundations class. I kind of zoom in here. Thanks, Bob. See you tonight. Here's what we're working on. Improvement strategies, goals. Do you have goals? Do you have a way to define and track your goals? A spreadsheet, a Word doc, whatever it is, where you write it down. What's the goal? Specific, measurable, achievable. Set the timeline. Define action steps. How long? How much will you monitor it and make notes about how it's going? when you got to the end? Did you complete it? Did you achieve it? Do you set it again? Make these goals focused on your weaknesses and trading priorities, section 1, and whatever you are learning about your trading from your trade log, from your winning percentage, losing percentage, average wins, average losses, right? Be very specific with what it is you're trying to fix with your goals, trying to do better. My constant focus is lose less money when I'm wrong. I definitely want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to keep everything I have when I'm right. And I want to make sure I'm following my rules. But be right more often. That you got to be careful there, right? Once you get your trading to a certain place, you've got to focus on the wins and the losses, not the entries. So all right. Yeah, I think we're in a good place. How you guys feeling? Everybody feeling all right? We've got trades on deck. It's just, do we get through this? If the market starts to accelerate down, we have hedges on, we have stops in place, finishing up any remaining bullish trades. Then the hedge is no longer a hedge. Now it's a speculation, and you're like, great. Now if I'm out, great. I'm fine if the market makes a little bit of a pullback. I'm fine with that. And then we'll assess how much of a pullback it is. Does it influence our score? Where are we? And we just get ready to go again. Line them up. All right. Well, listen, here's what we have going on tonight. Foundations. Tomorrow morning, midweek check-in. So it's only one day, but it's our Wednesday midweek check-in. So we get to see what's the follow-through from this VIX spike. What's happening? Does it really start to escalate? And if so, what's going on with that? We want to know why. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day. It's good to see you all. I'll see you guys tonight. Hop onto Discord, say hello. I'm going to go figure out what's going on with mine. And as always, happy trading.